On the Mark Sports Talk is on the air. Welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Mark with a C. And really quick, this is our 172nd show in 172 consecutive weeks. How about that? How is everybody?
Good. How are you, Mark?
Good.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm sure we're all doing good or saying we're doing good. I don't know. I mean, don't you guys go to the doctors? Have a lot of doctors, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
More than I want to.
A whole slew of doctors there, right? They're all covered by the insurance, so you just go.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to the doctor today for a regular yearly or 6-month checkup, and this guy is notorious for if your appointment, let's say, is at 10, you won't see him till 1. 3 hours always. I said, give me the earliest appointment. And they gave me 8 o'clock this morning.
That's
I
good.
was his 3rd patient. You know, he didn't there and put me in a room, the first room.
Yeah, and then he was
until 9:05.
Wow.
9:05. And then of course, they do the preliminary stuff. He didn't come in till 9:30. An 8 o'clock appointment.
That's not right.
Time for a new doctor.
And you know what he does? And he's a heart specialist, but he's my primary doctor. So all they do is the EKG and the blood pressure. You're good. See you soon.
That's what the PA does, Mark.
I know.
You don't get a blood test, Mark, when you see
blood. No, they took the blood. Took the blood, but I don't know what the blood is. I gave him the urine, and then I'm in and out, really fast.
They'll tell you the results of the blood in a few days, right?
Yeah.
I always get the results.
Usually online now.
Yeah, right. They put it in 2 hours later in your patient portal, right?
Yeah.
Right. You
Anyway.
New York City retiree. Your New York City retirees got a reprieve on the.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good for a while. Good for life, maybe. My life. Yeah. So I wanted to go over 2 things before we get to the sports here. A few people coming on late. Welcome those people who come on. How much do you people tip?
20%.
Like for instance, let's say the restaurant, not a fancy restaurant, like a diner.
20 to 25%.
20%.
Now, do you give automatically or do you give on the surface?
Pretty automatic.
Untaxed amount.
It depends. If it's someplace that I've been to a lot and I know the waiter,
Exactly.
maybe 25%. If I know the waiter, there's one place we've known the waiter for years, so we maybe 25%.
If they know you and you know them. What about you just walking off the street and you're having lunch, and the bill comes to $40, which is pretty high.
Wow.
$40.
Good lunch.
Good lunch, right? But even diner prices are up.
Yeah.
Better with diner because it's cheaper. It's not really that much cheaper. But
No,
you just give 20-25% no matter what, even if the service was lousy?
No. The service is lousy.
Have you ever left the restaurant without tipping anybody?
No.
Anybody?
I gave as low as 10% one time.
Yeah. My friend and I have given 100% tip.
Good for them. What about a barber? I don't go to a barber anymore. Anybody still go to a barber?
$5.
Yeah.
$5? No matter what.
It depends. I went to a place last week. It was 21. I gave the guy 25.
I know who you went to. You went to Ideal.
Exactly.
He said,
I give Ralph $12, Fred. Ralph, I just use whoever I go in. The guy says, "Come on now." It doesn't matter to me. I don't have a particular.
I use the former owner, who was Frank.
Yeah, Frank. Yeah.
Been there for a zillion years.
Yes, I know.
He didn't die, did he?
I give $5, but around
I think
Christmas
they sold
time,
it, but he
give
stayed
20.
on.
He sold it, but his brother died.
Oh yeah.
Which one? The first one, the first seat, or the second seat?
No, the second seat, Joe.
He died?
Joe, yeah.
Wow, I used to go years ago when I had ass. Right.
It's a very nice.
What about these like new places? Not new machines that you could put your. They always ask for a tip or no tip.
Right.
15%, 18%. Don't you get intimidated by those machines?
No, I don't tip
No.
I don't tip on takeout.
They usually say custom.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You press your tip.
Yeah.
So I was in a store maybe 3 weeks ago, and the machine was there, and I think I gave them a tip. Okay. The following week, went back to them, and I said to them, I said, I put the tip in last week, and they said, we don't get it. They said,
what?
You should check because they have the machine there, and the people who work there say we never get those tips. It goes right away to management.
I always try to give, if I can, cash as a tip. Always cash.
But you know what I like to do is sometimes at the places have the canister where you put the tip in.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys do this, but I like to be like George Costanza. I like to make sure they see me put it in. I never put it in if a back is turned. I really don't. I want that thank you and that acknowledgement that I did something.
Yeah.
Well, I put one in, take two out.
If it's $1 bill,
you're the guy.
I would put the tip in, make sure they see it, and then ask them for an extra few rolls.
Yeah, right.
And by the way, you guys always talk diners. I took out from the Williston Park diner. It was very good.
Oh yeah,
I've eaten in there when I've been in that area. Yeah, Williston Park.
Is that the one on Williston Avenue?
Yeah,
No, it's the one on right on Hillside.
Right on Hillside.
Yeah,
they're very nice.
That's the one east of the temple.
Yeah. Same owner as the guy from the North Shore Towers. He's also the same owner as the old Westbury Diner. They're part owners around the area there. But talk about diners. I want to tell you this one quick story, and then we'll get to the sports. I promise. But I wrote this down. So this one I titled "Must Use a Bathroom." Miles from my home. Now, miles means could be 4 miles, 5 miles, 8 miles. Miles from you picture yourself. You're in your car. You're alone in your car. You really have to go. You feel like an airplane running out of gas. You really have to go. Should I crash and go in my pants? Or find a landing strip or a body of water somewhere just to get to a bathroom?
1 or 2, Mark?
This is 2.
Or 3.
This is 2.
Oh,
so I found the diner. I found the diner. I couldn't even get to my destination where I was going. I said, I'm not going to make it. I couldn't just go in and use their bathroom. I felt funny doing that. Especially when there were 4 greeters at the door. Hello there. So I said, I'm going to take out. But I first have to use your bathroom. Where's your bathroom?
That's reasonable.
I run to the bathroom, do what I have to do. Oh, I felt so much better. And now I come out. Now, of course, if I come out, I really don't want to take out, considering 10 minutes before I found this diner, I did go to a Dunkin' Donuts. I had my coffee in the car. So I already had coffee. So I walk out of the bathroom, and I'm hoping that these 4 guys nowhere around, I could scoot right out, and that'd be history from that place. But sure enough, 2 of the 4 were still standing there, and the place wasn't so crowded. Like 10 o'clock in the morning, they see me, and all right, I got to take something out. So I'll have a coffee. But do I have a coffee alone for a takeout, or do I show that I'm a big shot? I'll have a coffee and a corn muffin. The waitress at the counter, she says, it's so fresh, that corn muffin. It's just made. I don't give a shit. Probably going to throw it in the garbage anyway. With the coffee in my car, I ordered another coffee instead of just using the bathroom and leave. Okay.
Did you leave a tip on the coffee and the muffin?
No. So I buy the coffee, and I get the corn muffin, and she says to me, "You want anything on the corn muffin, like butter, jam, and this? No, just give me a corn muffin." Okay? Anyway, she gives me a check, $7.53 to go to the bathroom.
Serves you right.
It serves me right. You gotta go. You gotta go. No.
Yes, sir.
$7, and
We're trying to get by for
I
cheap.
want to give her a tip for pouring the cup of coffee and taking the corn muffin from the left and putting it in the bag. No tip for her.
Mark,
$7.53.
I was kidding.
Mark, one
Mark,
of my go-to places for the bathroom was Bed Bath & Beyond on Lake Success. That's
Not anymore, you're not.
Except they're not there anymore.
That's gonna be
Closed. They're closed.
I gotta,
replaced
Mark,
by
if you're ever
Target.
around in the Glen Oaks Shopping Center and you gotta go to the bathroom and the library's open downstairs in the library.
Burlington, the second floor.
Bro,
But you got to get up there to Burlington, and
but
Target doesn't work. To walk up.
You know what I did
Target's
once?
gonna
I
be a new
was at
place.
eating the diner on West 4th Street in the city, and we ate around 12:30, and then Barbara and I were still around the area. About 2 o'clock, I really had to go, so I went back to the place. I was just in here an hour and a half. I'm going to use the bathroom. I said, "Sure, I remember you."
All right, I just wanted to know that interesting thing that happened to me. Maybe it happened to you too. Gerald, your highlights report. You're almost coming to the end of your reports here. You realize that this week you're sponsored by D Batteries.
D Batteries. Okay, sounds good.
All right,
So today I'm going over the 2018 MLB season. These are what I believe to be the key facts about the 2018 MLB season. For the awards and leaders, I will name the National League player followed by the American League player. Key awards: MVP Christian Yelich and the great Mookie Betts. Rookie of the Year Ronald Acuna Jr., whose brother is going to be a Met, and Showtime Shohei Ohtani. Cy Young, the great Jacob deGrom and Blake Snell. Batting average, Christian Yelich and Mookie Betts. Home runs, Nolan Arenado and Chris Davis. RBIs, Javier Baez and J.D. Martinez. ERA, Jacob deGrom, 1.70 that year with the 10-9 win-loss record. And Blake Snell. Some interesting highlights about the 2018 season. Albert Pujols recorded his 3,000th career hit on May 25th. Gleyber Torres, I think that's Jeff's favorite player, became the youngest player in American League history with home runs in 4 consecutive games. Will Myers became the only player in MLB history to hit 3 home runs in a game that was lost by double digits. Mike Trout became the second player in MLB history to have 30 home runs and steal 20 bases in 3 seasons before age 26. The other was Willie Howard Mays. Lourdes Gurriel became the first rookie of the live ball era in 1920 to have 11 consecutive multi-hit games. Jose Reyes became the first player to give up 2 home runs as a pitcher. Listen to this. And hit multiple home runs the next day.
Really?
So he was on both sides of the ball there.
Who was that?
Jose Reyes.
Not the Jose Reyes.
The Jose Reyes.
He wasn't playing in 2018, was he?
Yeah, it was for Cincinnati.
The
Anyway,
Met Jose Reyes?
Yeah.
The shortstop, the Met shortstop.
He was pitching?
Yeah.
Well,
He
the
was-
game was probably 20-0.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't realize that. Okay.
and the next day he had multiple home runs. Ronald Acuna Jr. and Ozzie Albies, listen to this, became the first teammates under age 22 to hit 20-plus home runs in a season. Juan Soto became the first teenager in MLB history to have 3 multi-homer games in a season. Trevor Story became the first shortstop in National League history to have 30-plus home runs, 40-plus doubles, and drive in more than 100 runs in a season. Brock Holt became the first player in MLB history to hit for the cycle in a postseason game. Pretty good. Very brief summary of the 2018 World Series. The Red Sox defeated the Dodgers 4 games to 1. The MVP was Steve Pearce. I think he retired at the end of that season. Here are some composite statistics. ERAs: Red Sox 255, Dodgers 485. Batting averages: Red Sox 222 and the Dodgers 180. And that concludes my report on the 2018 MLB season.
All right. Comments. First of all, Jose Reyes was never a Cincinnati Red. His final year was 2018.
Yeah, I was thinking of the other Jose Rios.
Yeah, Reyes. And he played and he batted 228 times in 2018.
Yeah.
So if he did pitch in a blowout game, it was with the Mets. I don't recall that at all. Anybody have any comments about your report? Michael's not with us, so there's no.
Yeah, he has no questions.
You're right. You're right.
Like second game in the 3rd inning with 2 outs, who hit a home run? I'm only kidding, Mike.
Okay. Thank you for that report. And as we get to the 2023, which is now 4 weeks away.
Yep.
And then we'll count backwards?
No, I already have my first.
Making a joke.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. On my notes here.
No, you know what Gerald's going to do? He's going to give his predictions for the 2024. Then he'll do his predictions for 2025.
And then this trivia from 1873.
Right.
All right, Milton, name that tune.
All right.
I can name
I'm
that tune.
This woman had one of the biggest hits in 1962, but I'm going to play you the one from 1964 and see if you could identify who it is. A great song.
Sounds like Neil Sedaka.
Listen to it.
Oh, Leslie Gore.
Little tinny.
Somebody was calling me. Hold on a minute.
You take the garbage out, Milton.
Definitely like a Neil Sedaka song.
No. Sounds like it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a Fatula Clark song?
It was a big hit.
I know.
1964?
Yeah.
I heard the song. I don't remember who
All right, what was it? No, I don't think anybody knows it.
Not Spector,
Right.
not Ronnie Spector.
The woman
not Ronnie Spector.
the woman had 2 big hits. The woman was Skeeter Davis.
Oh, the end of the world.
No, she was nicknamed by her grandfather, Skeeter, but her real name was Mary Pennick, and had the biggest hit in 1962, The End of the
End of
World.
the World.
One of the biggest hits.
Right. She
Remember that
She was one of
Don't
three.
let him.
So what was this one called?
It's the end of the world.
Yeah,
The
and she
moment
was
that I
one of 3
lost
sisters
your love.
who went on her own in the 50s and then in the 60s.
What was this one called?
But I have The End of the World was her biggest hit.
Yeah.
What was this one called?
What's that?
What was the title of that song?
The song you just played.
This one, I Can't Stay Mad at You.
Oh, I can't stay
Mad at You.
mad.
And The End of the World was a heartbroken love song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But both big hits. She had some others too, but you know.
We heard of her. We heard The End of the World, sure.
Yeah, end of the world.
Okay, let's go on. I have a beat for you guys, and it's interesting. The guy's name is not Junior, but with a Y, Junior. Because in Spanish, don't they do J, Y, being H, whatever? So Junior Marte is a righty pitcher on the Phils. But Yunior. Very unusual spelling, at least to me, but it reminds me of a former student I had. The girl's name was Isophine Rivera. Isophine Rivera. So I said, what's with this Isophine? She was like 7th grade. What's with this Isophine? She says, yeah. My real name was Josephine, but they never put the U. They didn't put the curl at the end. No, down for the I and up for the U. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I, and they didn't put the U up for the J, and through entire her birth certificate said Isophine. Hypergraphical, and she went through life. Isophine. No? I don't know. So that's what she told me. Anyway, August 17th. What happened today in sports? Well, the Yankees in 1920 canceled the baseball game. They were playing.
There's no reception in that room.
Hello. We hear you. We hear everything you're saying. Hello.
No,
Can you change the channel, please?
Let's mute him, Mark. Mute him.
Mark, just mute him.
What time do I have to get?
Steven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
He just came in from the car.
Okay. So in 1920, the Yankees canceled the game with the Cleveland Indians in memory of Ray Chapman, who was hit by the pitch the previous day and died.
Amazing.
The only fellow who's ever died, I think, while playing baseball.
Right. Major League, yeah.
In 1933, Lou Gehrig played in his record 1,308 consecutive games. I don't know who had that record prior to. Maybe you guys do. And then he went on to his 2130. Let's see. In 1938, there was a boxer named Henry Armstrong. You guys remember him?
Yep.
Yes. Remember the name.
Heard the name.
Yeah, he won his 3rd concurrent boxing championship. Does that mean he had 3 titles concurrent?
Yeah.
3 at the same time.
Yeah, that's a big word for me. Yeah. In 1944, Johnny Lindell, Yankees, ties a record of 4 consecutive doubles in one game. That's a great game, huh? 4 doubles. In 48, the Phillies committed 8 errors in one game. Imagine that. I think let's see, it's August, so I don't think the manager had them come out to fielding practice the next game. Too late in the season. How about this one? In 1957, Richie Ashburn. You don't remember him, right?
Sure.
Phillies outfield at the time fouls a ball off and hits a fan, Alice Roth, twice in the same game.
Right.
So the first time she breaks her nose, she stays. The second time she's carried off on a stretcher. I wonder if it was the same at bat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I remember reading about that.
Really?
Interesting.
Sounds like he was a glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
Move your seat. Okay, that was Richie Ashburn, 57. 63. It's a trivia question. Who hit the first cycle for the Mets? It was Jim Hickman.
Yeah.
63 on this day.
Just 1 second.
Larry, we hear you.
Yeah, John, hang on.
At the mute button. You guys got to use the mute. In 1966, Babe Ruth was sitting at 714 home runs in his career, and Willie Mays passes him. No. How could Willie Mays pass him? Willie Mays could pass him.
Yeah.
Mays at 660.
Yeah, so forget about that fact. Mark got it wrong. In 1969, the Jets play the Giants the first time ever in preseason. And who won that game?
Jets. 37 is something.
37-14. Very good.
I knew it was 37.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, 1980. On this day. Remember, late in the year. We're late in the... We say we're late in the year now?
Yeah.
George Brett goes 4 for 4 and raises his average to 401.
Who is that?
George Brett.
George Brett.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
4 for 4.
He hit 390 that
1980,
year or something.
and he went to 401 this late in
And then he had hemorrhoids.
Yeah, that came later.
Right.
came later.
That's in the World Series.
84, Pete Rose returns to the Reds as a player manager, and by the way, gets 2 hits, of course. I'm skipping through here. Oh, in 1989, Cal Ripken Jr. plays in his 1208th consecutive game and moves into 3rd place all-time behind Gehrig and Everett Scott.
That was the guy.
Yeah, that was the guy. In 1991, this guy was known. He was you know him more as a Expo, but he was a Royal at the time. Warren Cromartie. You remember him?
Right.
Yeah. Good outfielder.
His first home is 1991. It's his first home run since 1983. He wasn't a home run hitter. In 2008, China wins 33 gold medals. Of course, in the Beijing Olympics, their most successful Olympics. That's China. And 2008, Rafi Nadal of Spain beats Chile's Fernando Gonzalez. I don't remember that guy at all. To win the men's tennis championships at the Beijing Olympics, Spain's first gold medal ever in tennis. And also in 2008, Michael Phelps. That was the year he won 8 gold medals, breaking Mark Spitz's 7 in 1972. And that's this day in sports. Let's go on. Larry? Oh, we got a question. Yeah, go ahead.
Mark?
Yeah.
I looked up Richie Ashburn. He hit the woman, broke her nose. She was being carried. They had a delay of game. She was being carried off on a stretcher. The next pitch, he fouled, hit her leg, and broke a bone.
Hey.
Oh my God!
What are the odds of that happening?
And she was the wife of Philadelphia Bulletin sports editor Earl Roth.
Wow.
Oh
wow.
Yeah.
Like a
That's so
magnet.
wrong.
Here I am. Come and get me. Like dodgeball. Gerald, what?
I just want to confirm Jose Reyes did pitch an inning in 2018, gave up two home runs, and the next day, I believe, hit 2 home runs. I just confirmed that, Mark. Sent you an email.
Thank you. All right, Larry, sports stories today. We missed you last week. This week you're sponsored by Any Table of Contents.
My story this week is entitled, "Which sports are the most difficult to play?" To answer this question, in 2022, a group of experts, sports scientists, sports journalists, and athletes ranked the difficulty of playing in more than 50 sports. Their ranking of these sports are based on 10 categories. One category is agility, or the ability to change direction. Another category is eye-hand coordination. Still another is strategic sense. The remaining categories are power, endurance, strength, and nerve, as well as speed, flexibility, and durability. The expert rankings are based on these scores for the 10 categories. Each expert scores a category from 1 to 10, and their scores are average for that category. Total scores across categories determine sports rankings of difficulty. More familiar sports to this panel are associated with a telling category of difficulty. Can you name the sport? First, sport associated with speed. Anybody know which sport is mostly associated with speed?
Speed skating.
Car racing?
It's
Speed
hockey.
skating.
Ice hockey has the highest score for speed. It's rated second overall. Sport associated with strategic sense. Anybody?
Oh, I know, Larry.
Football?
Baseball.
It's football.
Football, guys. Come on.
Football is rated third overall. Sport associated with agility. You should get this one.
Basketball.
Basketball rated fourth overall.
Gymnastics.
Sport associated with eye-hand coordination.
Baseball.
Baseball.
Rated
golf.
ninth overall.
That's cool.
Rounding out the top 10 most difficult sports to play are the sport that came in first has very high numbers for nerve. Anybody?
Yeah, boxing, I know. Yeah.
Boxing is first.
Right.
Wrestling is fifth. Martial arts sixth. This one is dear to Milton's heart. Tennis seventh. Gymnastics eighth. And this one is dear to Danny's heart. Soccer 10th. That completes my story for this week.
Wow.
Who's got comments for that? Anybody? I lost you a little bit on the
Yeah.
Sorry. Roger.
I thought baseball would be higher, Larry. I mean, hitting a baseball is one of the hardest things to do,
Yeah.
right?
It is.
Yeah, but there are other categories. Baseball, for example, has very low numbers for endurance, very low numbers for flexibility, very low numbers for actually for speed. Of course, it has the highest numbers for hand-eye coordination of all, but that's only one category of 10.
Yeah, we got it.
But I think I agree with Roger. I think hitting a baseball has probably got tough because look at it. If you're a 300 hitter, that means you're successful 30% of the time.
Right.
If you played basketball or say a football quarterback and you completed 30% of your passes or made 30% of your shots,
You're out.
that's not good. But in
Right.
baseball, 300 is celebrated.
That's what Ted Williams said. It's the most difficult thing to do.
Right. I mean, I'm not talking about the overall sport, but the actual doing, I think, is most difficult.
Yeah. More comments here. Joe, and then
Yeah,
Dan.
I agree with Fred. The hitting of baseball is probably the hardest thing to do. But it's interesting because a lot of baseball players don't even look like great athletes. And Yogi Berra is a classic example.
Right.
Yogi
But
Berra
the ability, and there are great athletes. Michael Jordan is an incredible athlete.
Yogi Berra was deceptively a very good athlete.
Yeah, but Michael Jordan was an incredible athlete. I mean, he could do almost anything, but he couldn't hit a curveball.
Right.
He couldn't hit a curveball.
You know, there's an old story about Yogi Berra getting a tryout at Ebbets Field, and the Yankee officials looked at him and he said, "That's no ball player." Just looking at his physique and all, and they never signed him.
Danny, again.
You have to do two separate baskets. One is the team sports, and the other one is individual sports. You can put boxing, tennis, sports along those lines, which are individual sports. But you can't mix them up with a team sport. It's a totally different way of looking at it.
Well, these experts looked at all these sports on 10 different categories.
What they say about track and field?
Track and field.
Long
Let's see if I
distance
can
running.
get track and field. Hold on a second. Track and field is rated 16th.
But there's dashes and there's
long distance running,
flexibility,
track and field.
a fairly high score for power, but it's rated 16th. Track and field.
Yeah, I think this topic is. You can have a tremendous discussion on this topic. Many minutes.
How about the Tour de France?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And I ride a bike, so I'm partial to bike riders.
Right.
Joe.
Well, I mean, there's no other sport where you have, I don't know, less than a second to make up your mind whether you're going to swing a bat at a pitch ball.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing else compares to that.
Fraction of a second.
Did they take into account like baseball fielding? Because fielding is, I mean,
No, they did
it's hard to
They
do.
did it based on these categories I mentioned to you. Things like
What
power,
about
endurance,
gymnastics?
strength, speed, flexibility, durability.
Who are the people who did this study?
This study was done by sports scientists, sports journalists, and athletes.
So where was gymnastics rated, Larry?
Gymnastics, hold on a second. Gymnastic is rated 8th.
Because it seems to me
very high numbers for
gymnastics
flexibility.
participants, they
Very
can play
high numbers
baseball,
for
and baseball players can't do gymnastics.
Unless you're Ozzie Smith.
Right.
That's right.
He just flipped. You know?
Gymnastic has the highest rating for flexibility, 10. The highest number you could possibly get from all the experts. Amazing.
What about skiing? That takes skill.
Other
All
one.
right, hold on. Skiing is actually 11th.
11.
Good one.
It has a high numbers for speed, obviously,
What about
and
surfing?
very high numbers for nerve.
Why don't you email me the list with the numbers, and I'll pass it on to the guys. And if they want to comment later today, they have the numbers and the rankings with them. Okay.
I have a chart. I'll have to pass that on to you.
Either way you want to do it. Thank you.
Okay.
That's good. Good. A lot of discussions here. We go on for a long time. All right, Joe, we're up to you. Mets moment. Any moments, Joe?
Yeah, not a lot, but
It's your time. You're sponsored by
well,
Rhodes.
yeah,
Rhodes.
you know, when they first brought up these guys, Aruez and Ortega and Stewart, you know, I thought throwing in the towel, but it looks as if they're playing pretty decently. I don't know. Somebody's
Mark,
talking.
someone's talking in the background.
Steve, is that you?
What noise?
Let's try that.
Anyway, I mean, when they brought up these fill-ins, Ortega, Aruez, and Stewart, I thought, you know, they're absolutely throwing in the towel. But these guys are not playing badly, and I think, you know, they have somewhat of a future with the team. I don't think they're obviously not going to be the stars, but they may have a place on the club going forward. So we'll see what happens. You know, Stewart hit 2 home runs yesterday and made that absolutely beautiful throw to McNeil.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just on the money. That was really nice. And these guys are playing hard, and that's all you can ask for. So I don't know. You know,
you're right.
We'll see. And also, I want to comment on this thing with Alonso being poisoned in the clubhouse. I don't see it.
I don't either.
I just can't see it. I mean, he's a guy. He's an RBI machine.
Right.
I mean, he's got 88 or 89 RBIs now. Matt Olson, who has Acuna, Albies, and Riley in front of him, only has 20 more RBIs.
Right.
You muted, Joe.
Trivia question involving Alonso.
Joe, you got muted.
Joe, you're muted. Joe, you're muted.
We can't hear you.
Joe.
He's not. He can hear us.
Who muted me?
I think I did.
Oh,
I'm trying to find the culprit with the noise in the background.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
sorry.
No, I'm just saying I can't. I'm just saying I can't. I find it hard to believe that Alonso is the problem in the clubhouse.
I don't know. Dave, you want
He
to
works
comment?
on his defense. He plays
No, not
hard.
that comment. I just had an Alonso trivia question.
Okay.
Alonso is now 4th on the list for most number of home runs in his first 4 years. Who are the numbers 1, 2, and 3?
Judge?
Excuse me?
Judge? Aaron Judge?
No.
You're not there, no?
Ryan Howard.
Is this Major League or just Mets?
Major League. Major League.
Major League.
Not kind of.
All right, rather waste time. Ralph Kiner.
Tony Canigliaro, no. It wouldn't have been.
Albert Pujols is number 2. Eddie Matthews number 3.
Oh, yeah, Eddie Matthews. Yeah.
Alonso.
Right.
Yeah, Matthews hit 47 as a rookie.
Ralph Kiner had 168 home runs in his first 4 years. Well, 42 a year average.
Milton, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think it was a year, maybe at least a year ago, I heard an interview by Alonso that he said he would like to be the guy that could carry the team forward, that he wants to be the man that they could depend on and be the guy that, you know, to be the leader. I also read an article today that Stephen Cohen wants to build a team around Lindor. He and Lindor are very close.
Yeah.
No, it was
Sure, he's got 7 more years in his contract.
Yeah.
He thinks that they could do it with Lind, you know.
Joe,
Yeah.
if I see Vogelback and Drew Smith anywhere near City Field, I will scream.
Did you notice that a few days ago he left them in against a left-handed pitcher?
Yes.
You know, if I cared any more about the season, I would have thrown something through the television. I mean, I can't believe it. What?
He has pictures of Steve Cohen Vogelback. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, I know. That's what we've talked about.
He struck out.
Gotta have pictures.
Did he strike out?
Probably.
I don't know.
I mean, he did hit a home run, I think, in the 21-3 loss.
He keeps hitting a home run here and there. Maybe that's why he keeps playing them. Yeah, Fred.
And Joe, you're absolutely right about guys like Stewart. You know, these guys are, putting themselves on tape, on film for next year. I mean, the other day, I said this before, after the Met game Monday night, my son was talking to Stewart. He was covering the game, and Stewart says, I have to tweet. Guys like me have to try hard every game because we want to place in the major leagues. This is a showcase for me.
Yep.
Guys like Mendick and so these guys are playing for something.
No, but he surprised me, Stewart. He looks like he said he's been hurt for the last few years, and he said he finally feels healthy.
Well, Joe, I don't know if you realize he was originally the first round draft choice of the Orioles when Showalter was there.
Wow.
And then he did it.
Number one draft.
No, I knew he was on the Orioles with Showalter.
That's the connection. Yeah.
Yeah, in 2015, and then he got hurt, and then he's so at some point the talent was there. I mean, some guys blossom late.
So we'll see.
Okay.
I mean, I would keep him in the lineup for the rest of the year, even if say Marte comes back.
Yeah. I mean, next year, he could be a very good fourth outfielder.
Yes. Yep. And a DH too.
And he also made a very nice. I don't know if you guys noticed that very great defensive play yesterday on that.
That was a beautiful throw.
Yeah,
that was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Fred, can you find out from your son why Vogelback is still a Met?
He covers mostly the Yankees, but I don't know. Maybe
he must have something on the owner.
Yeah, maybe.
He has a contract, and they're not going anywhere. So what the hell? Let them play. Let's go on. Thank you, Joe, for that.
Sure.
Fantastic report on the Mets. And Howie, let's do the West Coast report, Howie. Sponsored by Cacti.
Okay. Okay. There was the
David Bowie
of what's the worst since July 1st. What's one of the worst teams with an average of runners in scoring position?
San Diego.
Gotta be the Yankees and the Mets.
Giants.
Well, the Yankees and the Mets are on there. The Mets are 225. The Yankees are 218.
The A's.
The A's are 199.
Giants.
The Angels are 219. The worst team with runners in scoring position with average are the Giants with 190.
Wow.
Now the Giants you guys are talking about bringing guys up. They are bringing guys up. They're throwing everything. It's like throwing spaghetti against the refrigerator. They brought up this guy, Wade Meckler. Talk about a name. He just had 1 year. This is his only year in professional ball, and he went through 3 different clubs levels, and he had to be put into center field because Yaz was injured, and then Luis Matos, I think, got injured, and they sent him down, and he's going to be the future center fielder. But this guy Meckler they brought up, they are trying everything under the sun, and yet when I look at the wild card standings in the National League, the Phillies, who were basically the only team that really got hot, are in the first position. They're up by 3.5 games, and I think the Phillies are getting hot and healthy just at the right time. So I think they're going to make the playoffs. And if they get that number 1 spot, that means they play the home, all the wild card games at home. So I think they're in a really good position. And the Giants, despite the fact that they've lost the last 4 series, are up by a game and a half. They've lost 7 out of the last 10, and not hitting. The only one who's hitting is What's his name?
Conforto.
Flores.
Conforto.
Right. By the
Conforto
way,
got hot.
I don't know why the Mets. I guess it was injuries, but I've been watching Conforto in the field. He's a great defensive outfielder.
Very good. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why they gave up on him, and he's coming back. But the Giants are in that second position. But for the next 9 games, the Giants are going to be playing
Atlanta.
the Atlanta, and I think the Phillies. I know it's 2 really top teams, but it will be make or break. So it's really it's up in the air, especially since the Cubs are playing. They're in the 3rd position, tied with Cincinnati and Miami. 3 teams tied in the 3rd wildcard position.
3 for 1 spot.
Yeah, and the Cubs seem to be getting it together. Cody Bellinger is like the MVP. He's found his bat. And even Arizona, who was leading the division for a while until the Dodgers overtook them, they've come back. They're just a game and a half out. But all these teams are like barely at 500. The best are the Cubs and the Phillies, 6-4 in the last 10 games. But the Giants, the next 9 games, that'll tell whether they can make it or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Cubs are playing Kansas City over the weekend.
Yeah.
There you go.
So there's teams that are battling for those spots.
And Miami's at the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Wow.
At the Dodgers.
And the Reds are home against Toronto because they're in the mix too.
Yeah. Larry?
Yeah.
It's interesting that the Dodgers gave up on Justin Turner, and he's playing for Boston. He's hitting 285, 19 home runs, and 73 RBIs.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mets gave up on him too.
Years and years and years ago.
So did the Baltimore Orioles before that.
Joe, game.
I just wanted to say that I thought the Mets missed the boat on not only Conforto, but I think I said it here earlier before the season started. They should have signed Bellinger also.
Yeah.
They were 2 no-brainers. They had nothing to lose by doing those things, and yet they didn't do it.
They could do
And
it
they
again,
got themselves
right?
in a whole lot of trouble.
Bellinger's eligible, I think, an option or something. He's eligible to be a free agent.
Is Conforto a free agent?
No,
I don't think
Conforto,
they just had to sign him. They just had to sign him.
I think signed 2 years. I think Conforto signed 2.
Yeah, you're right.
2.
Yeah.
And Mitch Haniger's yet to be heard of. Maybe he'll be back Labor Day.
Howie,
what about Darren Ruff? How's
Howie? Is that catcher Bailey? Is he wearing down a little bit?
No, he's not. I mean, he's the average is up. He's really grabbed. He definitely has taken over. You guys, I guess Joey Blunt. You guys can trade to Joey Blunt, but yeah. And they also got this guy Sable, who's the backup catcher, but he can also play in left field. Kind of reminds me of Elston Howard back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Era.
Yeah. All right, Gerald.
So Howie, don't forget Marcus Stroman is injured. That may have an effect on the Cubs.
I just saw that last night, and he's eligible for free agency. So I wonder if that'll affect teams going for him. He's a good pitcher too.
Yeah.
Yes, he's pitched pretty well this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
He out for the rest of the season.
Attituditis.
Thank you for the report, Fred. New York Giants. Stuff.
Well, so far, it's been a non-controversial training camp when the biggest controversy is the temper of Brian Daboll, the coach, and his glare at the special teams coach, and because they had a 95-yard return for a punt return the other day when they only had 10 players on the field.
Oh, jeez.
And it's been in the paper 3 days that he glared at him, that Daboll is short-tempered, loses his temper, and special teams coach has nothing to worry about. And it's just the reason they had 10 guys on the field is because all these guys who were special teams, the running backs, the guys supposed to be there, they were all stars in college. They're not used to playing on special teams. So one of them didn't know they had to go back on the field. But outside of that, the issues in the Giant camp seems to be, well, on the offensive line, the tackles seem to be set. Evan Neal, who was in the concussion protocol, is back now, and Giants are hoping and expecting better things from him in his second year. But there's still some, not controversy, but things to sort out at the guard position. They have like 3 or 4 guys who are it's still unsettled who's going to play. The starter last year was Glowinski. He's in and out with Ben Bredson and the rookie from last year, Josh Zidu, and they signed some other guy I never heard of last week who's played like 30 games in the NFL, a guy named Davenport. So that they need to sort that out. So the situation is not as, I don't want to use the word dire as the Jets, but they still need to sort that out.
They have a center.
The center is going to be this will be the rookie Schmitz.
Yeah, Schmitz. Yeah, he was the best in college.
He's best in college. He's 24 years old. He's played 6 years in college. He's got a lot of, they seem happy with him. And the only thing with the cornerback, Martindale said, we're going to play the 3 best cornerbacks regardless. So what it looks like now is they're going to have 2 rookies on the outside in Banks, and they're really high on this guy, Trey Hawkins, who was a 6th-round draft choice out of Old Dominion. And they're going to, right now, they're being seriously moving Adoree Jackson to the slot. Hopefully that will work out. There'll be a big test on their, if that's the case, opening night when they play Dallas Cowboys and their trio of receivers. What's their names? You guys, you know who I mean. Dallas, I forget their names, but they're all pretty good. And the biggest controversy too is him saying that he expects, Martindale big things from Thibodeau and to work hard and practice every day. So there really isn't much controversy. That they played the Panthers, who got shut out by the Jets last week. Let's see what happens there. Daniel Jones may play a series or 2 this week. They're not 100% sure, and we'll go on from there.
There was a story in, I'm not sure if it was the News or Newsday today. They said they had the Giants had a receivers meeting, standing room only, because they have so many receivers in camp fighting for jobs.
Yeah. Oh, there's one other thing. This was in yesterday's news, I think. Justin Pugh, who played for the Giants, was a 1st-round draft choice.
Yeah,
He's coming back from an injury. He's looking for a team. He says, I only want to play for a contender. I would really like to play for the Giants. I don't know if the Giants have the Giants have expressed any interest in him, but we'll have to see.
Okay, Gerald?
Fred, I know this is Mike's area, but what's going on in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood?
That if the Jets don't solidify their offensive line, they'll be nowhere near a Super Bowl team, and they'll be lucky to win 9 games.
Whoa!
No, really. If they don't get 5 guys, it starts with them. If Rodgers doesn't get enough time and he can't throw the ball, what good is it? They really. It starts with up front. No matter how good their defense is going to be, they can't protect the quarterback. They're gonna have a big fall.
Mike, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I'm a little out of sequence here, but 2 points on the West Coast. One is that, the Dodgers gave up on Justin Turner, but they signed J.D. Martinez, right? And if you look at their stats, you'll see that Martinez is having a better year overall.
Yeah. It's almost like
Turner, even though Turner,
almost like a straight trade, Martinez for Turner.
Yeah. I think Martinez got 25 home runs now and about close to 80 RBIs, and that's a little better than Turner's numbers. The other thing to say is I watched the 49ers in their opening preseason game, and I admit it's preseason, second teams are out there and all that kind of stuff, but they looked dreadful. They just looked terrible from start to finish. They were just they couldn't have been worse. This is against the Las Vegas Raiders, who, they weren't starting their starters either. And still, this was just
choke up. It's preseason. Don't go crazy.
Yep, you're right.
Go crazy. Why don't you give us your report then, Mike, on Virginia and DC report, sponsored by this time of year, cicadas. They're out.
Yeah,
Every
cicadas. Well, we're
14
not seeing them this year. We're out of cycle
We have them.
for them.
Yeah.
It's pretty quiet on the Washington, D.C. front right now, but a couple of quickies. So this week, the Commanders have been scrimmaging with the Baltimore Ravens. Each day they get together and they play 11 and 11, but they also play one-on-one, evidently. So the reports coming back are that this quarterback, Sam Howell, was looking pretty good. His decision-making is okay so far. He's pretty quick and he's got good feet, all this kind of stuff. On the other hand, in the one-on-one lineman competitions, apparently the Ravens are just eating up the offensive linemen of the Washington Commanders. Now, of course, one-on-one's different from what it's like in games and so on, but nevertheless, not a good sign. It's resulting in fights. There are a bunch of what they call chippy type exercises there, but it doesn't portend well. Now, maybe the Ravens have excellent defensive linemen. They probably do, but still, this is a weakness going forward. They know they have this weakness. There's only so much you can do about it right in the short run. The other point is has to do with the Washington Nationals. As you know, the Nationals are in last place in the National League East, and you might be wondering why are they in national place in last place. They have a batting average, team average of close to 260. Right, they're hitting 259 as a team, which is not bad. If you look around the league, that's at the upper half of the National League. However, they are last in the National League in home runs with 112, and that's after 3 yesterday. They were even further behind, but they got 3 yesterday, so they're closer to Miami, which is the next team. Only Cleveland in all of baseball has fewer home runs than Washington does. And then there's the fact that they have a 4.86 ERA as a team. And there's only one team that's worse than that in the National League. You would, I think, guess who that would be. That would be Colorado, which is probably worst every year. They have given up 178 home runs. The Washington pitching staff has given up 178 home runs, which is number 1 in Major League Baseball. And that's my quick assessment of why the Washington Nationals are not having a wonderful year.
But they're playing better lately.
They have been playing a little better. You're right about that.
No, they won 6 out of the last 10, and they come to New York to play the Yankees next week.
And they gave up Candelario too.
They did.
Right.
That's true. He's with the Cubs now.
Right.
I think the highest team batting average in baseball is 275. I think it's Atlanta. So
but they're way ahead of everybody.
You know, Mike, I'm looking at the standings. They don't have a bad record on the road. They're 28 and 32 away, and 26 and 35 at home. So they're a better road team.
Yeah.
I think they're going to pull ahead of the Mets. The Mets will finish.
I do too.
So in other words, next week, if you're a Met fan, you really got to be rooting for the Yankees because you don't want them because they're playing Washington.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
right, Gerald?
The lower the Mets finish, the better the draft pick.
Yep.
That's true.
You know, there was something about that if they keep their pick if they're 1 through 6, but otherwise it gets moved back 10 slots because something with free agency or something like there's something. So if they pick 8th, they're really going to pick 18th.
There are these compensatory.
It's something to do with compensation, right?
That's right.
I forget the exact rules, but it's something why.
Same in football.
Yeah.
But you couldn't name 5 college or high school ball players who will be in that draft.
This upcoming draft? No, you're right.
You kidding me? Anyway, let's move on.
No.
Thank you for that report, Mike. All right, let's go some quickies here. And Roger enlightened me today that the Yankees dropped below 500 this late in the season.
Yeah.
First time since when, Roger?
1995.
Right.
1995, they went below 500, and they made the playoffs.
That's interesting. They were great the rest of the year, right?
Right. They played well after that. Right. They
That was
Joe
the first
Walker
wild
was
card,
managing, and
Right. Right.
That was his last year,
That was
right?
Showalter's
Then Torrey
last year.
took over next year.
That was when they played Seattle,
The rest
right?
is
They lost.
history.
Right.
That was Buck's last year with the Yankees.
And
Right.
Madden's last year. Hurrah. Yeah.
They dropped below 500, and they've gone, oops, what are we doing? What are we doing? And they started playing well and made the playoffs. Let's see. Sunday is Roger Maris bobblehead day at the stadium. Okay, 1:30, the first 18,000. Roger, you going to be there? Your name?
It doesn't look like him, Mark. I saw it
Get
like a
there.
preview. I don't think I'm going.
Get a bobblehead.
Yeah.
The other day they had the Diaz, Edwin Diaz bobblehead at Citi Field.
Yeah.
And he was there giving them out.
Oh, was he? That's
He
good.
was there get the gate giving them out. How about that?
A few years ago, I think I got one for Stanton, and that year he played like 10 games. I think now I have 2 of them. So if anyone wants one,
They had dust collectors in my house. So.
Mark.
Yeah.
My friend went to the 21-3 Met game, and he left when they were behind 11-0. They just walked out.
Don't blame him.
The last 8 runs was I think was it Medic was pitching. Mendick was pitching. So you really can't say 21. You can say 21-3, but he just gave up the 8 runs.
11-0's not bad enough, right, Mark?
They said they should introduce a mercy rule. They were talking about.
Right. They should make that a rule, right?
That's like boys. That's like boys going to play against men.
September 9th, the Yankees are having their annual Old Timers Day. They always have the Old Timers Day, but no game.
Yeah.
They didn't play a game last year. I don't remember that. But
No, they didn't.
But Derek G is coming back for his first time ever to an Old Timers game. They'll put the uniform on, but people are upset that there's no game. Why are they not playing a game? Anyone know? They're not too old.
There's a theory about Jeter.
No, why are they not playing the game on?
Jeter doesn't want to be seen in a uniform attempting to play. He wants fans to remember him for how great he was.
No, there's no game. No one's playing a game.
I know.
They're not making no game because he's coming back.
Right, but he's coming back, they say, because there is no game. If there was a game, he wouldn't come back.
But he wanted to be more involved. Once he got past the Marlins thing, he wanted to get more involved, and he said you'll see me more often here, and that was a big chance.
Yeah.
He'll just show up.
Did you see the list of players?
Yeah.
There are 2 guys. Tell me if you've heard of these guys.
I never heard
think of who they were. Mike Figger and Jim Brewski.
I heard of both of them.
I've heard of Brewski.
Really?
Figger and Bruce. Yeah.
No.
I didn't hear Ryan. Who's Ryan Bradley?
Was he a pitcher?
I have no idea. Ryan.
And there's the guy from Queens Village, Mike Jared. What's it?
Yeah. I got his card. Yeah, but yeah,
No wonder they're not playing. Nobody's ever
check
heard
that
of them.
list of players. That's from
I saw that.
1998, right? 1998 team.
I think I asked my son who Jim Brewski was.
Yeah.
I remember these guys.
All right, some more baseball quickies here. Remember Jose Batista, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right? He also eventually played for the Mets for a couple of years. Well, he's out of baseball. He signed a 1-day contract with the Blue Jays to retire as a Blue Jay. He made his name as a Blue Jay.
Yeah.
Right.
All-Star, and his name will be added to they call it the level of excellence at Rogers Center. So good for him, Jose Batista.
Kill the Yankees all the time.
Yeah. Shohei Ohtani became the first major leaguer with 10 wins and 40-plus home runs. We thought that was going to come up.
Yeah.
A nice article. Maybe you want to write this guy's name down. The Mets have a Double-A pitcher. His name is Blade, Blade, Tidwell, Tipwell. He's 22 years old. He's rising very fast up the ranks of the minors. Maybe he'll make it, or maybe he'll get Tommy John surgery and you'll never hear him again. I don't know. A pitcher,
Or come back better than ever.
A Mickey Mantle jersey, $4.5 million at auction. A Mickey Mantle jersey. I thought that was interesting. And a very interesting story. I don't know if you heard this story. I came across it. This guy, John Tumpane, Tumpane, or Tumpani. Anyone ever heard of him?
Yeah, he's an umpire.
Major League. Do you hear this story? Major League umpire. Listen to this article. I wrote some things down. He was relaxing in Pittsburgh prior to a night game and decided, he'd been to Pittsburgh, decided to jog over the Roberto Clemente Bridge.
Oh, this was last year.
Was this last year's happened? Okay.
Yeah, I know the story.
Okay. So if you watch a Yankee game or a Met game in Pittsburgh and you see a bridge in the background, there's multiple bridges, but the main one is the Roberto Clemente Bridge.
The Three Sisters.
Upon returning over the same bridge, he noticed a woman about to jump off the bridge into the Allegheny River.
Oh.
Have you guys heard the story?
Yes.
No, I haven't heard.
He went over. No one else was around, which I thought was really surprising. He locked both his arms around her back and just like held her and started talking to her. At least trying to take, talk her out of jumping. She wanted to jump. At times, she just dangled her legs, and he was just holding her. If he didn't hold her, she'd be plunked into the river. No one cares for me. I don't have much to live for. Not true. I'll call the guy John. John said, I care. And he talked and talked and talked, trying to get her away from danger. Eventually, another person came, and he quietly told her to call 911. Eventually, cops came, ambulance, firemen, they all came and grabbed onto her arm and not to let go. And eventually, she was rescued. John was the unsung hero. And after all quiet down, he went back on umpire the game.
Wow.
How about for a story, huh?
Yeah. Nice. Great story.
I didn't realize that story was the last year.
Yeah, last year.
Wow.
Interesting. And anyone hear the story about the Juan DeFranco story? What's going on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody have relations with a minor?
Supposedly, allegedly.
But it's his word against their word, and took place in DR, right?
Both. I think there's two separate incidents.
Oh, yeah?
Two. One in DR, one here.
I didn't realize.
Same girl?
One was 17 years old, one was 14.
14?
Supposedly, allegedly.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's.
Well, he put him on the ineligible list.
You know what, Mark?
Yeah.
The date that he was put on the ineligible list, and this is crazy, was Juan DeFranco bobblehead.
All right.
No, you had to.
All those 14 years old and under gets a bobblehead.
Yeah, the game. No, Howie, it was a hat, not a bobblehead.
A hat.
Same thing, but it was a promotion with him on it on Sunday.
What a career to go down.
And then he left the stadium in the fifth inning.
Wow.
This happened with the Yankee guy on the Yankees years ago. I forgot his name though.
Rusty Torres.
No.
Not Rusty Torres?
No,
it wasn't.
Rusty Torres.
But the woman presented herself as an adult, and that was his argument, and he lost.
Credentials? Let me see your age.
He lost.
Yeah, I remember that, Jeff.
Yeah. Then there's a moving on here real quick. The Guardians have a rookie pitcher, and I didn't realize this. His name is Tanner Bibee, Bibee.
Very good.
Very good. He won his 7th consecutive decision last weekend. He's 9-2. So they have a Bieber and a Bibee. Bieber and a Bibee. And Daniel Murphy has called it quits. So he went to he left the Ducks to go to the Angels system, and he thought he'd do a little, work with the Angels farm system. And then they call him up. He ended up 40 games in the minors. Nothing materialized, so he decided just to retire again from baseball. He hit 295, 1 home, 25 RBIs in 40 games. He's 38 years old. Okay, sorry to hear that. Miguel Cabrera hit 509, his 509th career home run. Has anyone hit 509? I mean, anyone?
He's near Millot now.
He's coming up to Millot.
Sheffield, Mark. Did he tell you Gary Sheffield?
Yeah.
Sheffield was 509. I think you're right.
What was that? 5'11", 5'12"?
Odd has 5'11", Ted
Ernie
Williams is
Banks,
5'12".
5'12", right?
Yeah, they're
Ted
getting
Williams,
a little tougher for him, and as he tries to finish out this year. Let's see how he finishes. And congrats to the softball team in Massapequa.
Yeah, nice.
They won the Little League World Series in softball.
Nice.
First softball team in state history to capture a crown as they beat North Carolina.
And they're going to be honored by the Mets August 26th.
Absolutely, on Women's Day.
Oh, is that Women's Day?
For Women's Day. And tonight, you still can, if you live in New York, you still can get tickets for the Police Against the Firemen.
Right.
City Field, $20 tickets. Tonight.
No, Mark.
No.
Then watching them play hockey is more interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The guy I was talking about was Louis Polonia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was
right.
hotel in Milwaukee, Hotel Pfister in Milwaukee.
That's right.
I remember that. I remember that now. Yeah.
All right, football. So I like the Jets' acquisition of Dalvin Cook for 1 year.
Yeah.
You said no line, and that makes no difference who the hell they get. But still, he 4 years in a row, counting 1,000 yards plus.
Yeah, but they had a good offensive line in front of them.
Oops.
Yeah.
So the
Vikings.
question is, who was the last 1,000-yard runner for the Jets? They had the paper the other day.
Not Curtis Martin.
So 2015.
Oh, that was the year they almost made the playoffs.
Chris Ivory.
Who?
That was the year. 2015. Chris Ivory, the last 1,000-yard runner for the Jets, and the Patriots signed Ezekiel Elliott. I thought that was a good pickup for them.
Right.
1 year, $6 million with incentives. It's a win-win. No.
Running backs are not getting much money at all this year, Mark.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And college football is beginning this weekend, if you haven't noticed. And Notre Dame is playing Navy in Dublin, Ireland. How about that? Of course, Georgia's ranked number 1, on paper. Michigan 2, Ohio State 3. The same people, same teams. Alabama's 4, LSU's 5. After the first week, they may stay. It'll be changed right away. Stony Brook made the news. Stony Brook University. They picked up a quarterback. Listen to this one. They picked a quarterback, Casey Case. That's some name, right? Casey Case. Not Casey Case. Is a transfer student from Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
He played very, very little in Buffalo. So Stony Brook just saw him on film from practices. And they said, why don't you come play for us? You'll be a starter.
Yeah.
He's a junior. So it's something to watch along the way. And you've been following the Blind Side story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I believe him.
Great. You believe him?
Yeah.
You believe they just used him for his money?
Yeah.
And took his money away? And
No.
what's a conservative? What is a conservative?
Conservatorship.
What is that? Yeah. What does that mean? Just watches the money? Anyone know? What is it?
I think they have responsibility for him, but it's short of adoption.
Yeah, it's not legal. It's not the legal parents.
Yeah.
But isn't it like conservatorship? Does it matter what age you are, or could be? I don't.
He's gonna be.
That's right, because Britney Spears' father had a conservative.
Right, when she was an adult,
and she's well to her 30s.
Yeah.
They watch your money.
Right.
Yeah.
They watch your money.
Decisions. Yeah.
Well, he thinks he watched the money and they took more.
I don't know. Isn't it more than watch? Isn't it have control?
Control.
Yeah. Control. That's the question. Just watch, right?
Control.
Yeah.
Control.
It's very sad to hear that story because I thought it was a great movie. Great movie.
Yeah, I mean, his side has come. The other side has come back firing him from all sides, right? The lawyers have spoken out. Now Michael Lewis has spoken out too. Says it's just not true. None of this is true.
None of this is true. All right.
His reputation is on the line.
He played for the Ravens. Anybody else he played for?
I think he said he played for one other team.
Panthers.
Panthers.
He played for the Panthers too.
Yeah.
Mostly the Ravens. Yeah.
But he's out of football now. He's got to be in his 30s, right?
Wasn't he on the
He played,
Ravens?
he played for 7 or 8 years.
I think he was on the Ravens when they won the Super Bowl. They beat the Giants,
gonna
right?
be the
No, it's a long
Niners.
time.
Giants. Is it Niners? Yeah, not Giants.
So any basketball? What's the basketball notes on this tournament, Fred? What do you got?
Well, the NBA schedule came out today. What they're doing is an in-season tournament. I'm not sure if I have this 100% right, but the games are going to count in the regular season. What they're doing, it's similar. The tournament is similar to what soccer does. There are 6 groups of 5 teams each within your own division, and you're going to play each team within the division, within your group once, and then the winners of the group, the 6 groups, will advance plus the 2 best second place ranked teams. Then we'll go into what soccer calls a knockout stage, which is what this is. So there'll be 8 teams in the knockout stage. You'll play 1 game and you're out. Then the semifinals, and in the finals, and there's monetary. I'm not sure what the monetary is. You play, but to make up the games. So in other words, if you get eliminated in the group stage, you'll have 2 games that they're going to add to the schedule. If you get eliminated in the semifinals, 1 game. I don't know. To me, it's convoluted, and I don't know. I guess they're doing it for money and for interest and whatever. But the NBA announced that they're scheduled today. The opening night, the Lakers are going to play the Nuggets, and Golden State is playing somebody else. I think. My son sent me the release. I passed it on to Mark. I really didn't read it that carefully. A lot of games.
The Knicks have the Bucks, Miami, Washington, Charlotte in their group.
Yeah, right, in their group.
The Nets have Boston, Toronto, the Bulls, and Magic in their group.
Yeah, and the Knicks will be playing the Bucks on Christmas Day is the first of the 5 games. Yeah. There's a lot of games going to be. But
I wonder what's going to happen if teams have, the same record.
I don't know how they're going to determine.
How to run differential.
I haven't seen any tiebreakers that are going to do point differential.
They're not playing games to break the tie. They got to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll have to see.
Joe, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, Fred, I wanted to ask you. You think maybe they're doing it because, the feeling has always been that the NBA doesn't really start until the postseason, and they want.
I think that's part of it too. Because you're right. The interest is there. You're right. A lot of people think, it's the postseason. Then maybe this will bring some more interest into it, into the league. We'll have to see how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, soccer does that too. I think with in-season things over in Europe, don't they? I mean, I'm not that well versed in that.
Now they're also having a World Cup in basketball, right?
Oh, right now, FIBA. I think that starts August 26th, and the Nets and Knicks are pretty well represented. There are Johnson and Bridges from the Nets, Hart and Brunson from the Knicks are on the U.S. team, and that's also, I think, the same thing. I think it's like soccer, a group stage. I think then they move on.
I think these tournaments are going to confuse the average person. And we're not average people, and we're confused. Gerald.
Fred, any prediction on how many teams Harden will be playing on this season?
I don't know. There was.
Oh Lord.
I don't know. He's calling the Sixers general manager a liar. The Sixers say we're going to keep him. Who knows? We'll wind up He'll wind up on the Knicks.
Oh God, no.
All right, let's move on.
Well, let me. Can I make a quick comment there?
Yes.
Fred's right that they do hold in-season tournaments, at least in England, which I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
The difference, however, is that not just the Premier League teams are involved in these tournaments. I think all of the leagues. That means I don't know, Division 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever.
Italy and Spain.
All those teams, they have play-ins and all this kind of stuff, and only a few teams can make it to where they play the big teams, and they usually get knocked out, but sometimes they don't. And that adds a little spice to that kind of a tournament. It's not just the very same teams that are already playing each other. All these other teams have a shot too. So I don't know about the other European countries, but that's what they do in England.
Okay. Let us move on. I don't know if any of you guys still follow the WNBA.
Yeah.
But the Liberty beat the LA Aces again last night. That's 2 times in a row they beat the ultimate team. The LA Aces supposedly are like the best, but Liberty.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. What did I say?
LA.
No, Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
And they're 27-3, and they have 2 losses by the Liberty, and Liberty's 24-6 right now. They'll both be in the playoffs, but nice to hear those stories, especially as New York is here. And Iowa wants to hold an outdoor basketball game. The women, October 15th at their 69,000 seat stadium, Iowa, as they host DePaul and will attempt to set the all-time women's basketball attendance record.
That's because they have probably the best women's player in the Caitlin Clark.
That's right. A couple other quick notes. Oh, let's do soccer. Danny, you want to talk about the World Cup as it's coming to an end?
Yeah, it's coming to an end. I followed it a little bit. Thought it was an interesting tournament. Needless to say, the coach of the U.S. team got fired.
Oh, yeah.
Most rightfully so, I guess. And that was a big disappointment. I think it hurt the whole tournament. Too bad, really. I mean, England beat Australia in the semifinal, but everybody was rooting for the home country, for Australia to make it to the finals. Should be an interesting final between Spain and England.
When is the final?
I think Tuesday.
Sunday.
Who's favored in that?
Is it Sunday?
Sunday, 6 a.m. our time.
Oh, yeah. 6 a.m. Well,
you wake up, you see the last 10 minutes.
I'm awake.
Yeah.
England's
But
probably
they've been
favored.
playing very interesting games. They're fast as ever, these girls. It's absolutely amazing. Good games.
Saturday is the 3rd place game, and that's 6 a.m. I'm sorry, no, 4 p.m. Maybe it's 4 a.m.
Probably.
Who cares about 3rd place, right? But they
Can't
still
be
play.
4 p.m.
Yeah. All right, so that's this weekend. And who's your pick, Danny?
I don't know. I really don't know. And they say Spain is a surprisingly very good team.
Yeah.
But
nobody. It's the first. Whoever wins will be the first time that this women's team, women's country.
England.
Yeah. So good for that. And did you hear that they're horse racing? For those who care about horse racing, Preakness officials are considering pushing back the Preakness to 4 weeks after the Kentucky Derby instead of 2 weeks. Again, saving the horses and allowing the top horses to possibly race in all 3 Triple Crown races.
So how does that affect Belmont?
The Belmont will be pushed back further too.
Sure.
Back too.
Right. Isn't Belmont Park under renovations, and they say it's going to be in Saratoga?
Yeah, I saw an article in the paper about that. Next year, they may not be able to race in Belmont in the summer. So so they have to go up to Saratoga.
But they'll go to Saratoga and call it the Belmont.
Well, Belmont Stakes.
That'd be part of the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
So usually they have the race, the Kentucky Derby 2 weeks later,
right,
and then 3 weeks later.
3 weeks later, yeah.
Right.
So that's 5 weeks. Here they want to do 4 weeks and maybe wait 4 more weeks. So maybe that's going to be in late July.
I think they're doing that because they think the Preakness a lot of times doesn't get the premier horses because a lot of horses in the Kentucky Derby don't run because it's only 2 weeks.
Right.
So
they get the horses, but they miss out the Preakness. Let's say if you won the Kentucky Derby, are you going to force your horse to run in the Preakness to go for the Triple Crown, or do you have feelings for that horse and let's save him for the Belmont? I don't know. Did you hear this one? That Elon Musk, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are going to fight?
I don't think they are anymore. I think they called
You heard
it
about that, right?
I got 2 words.
They were going to fight in a cage.
Yeah.
Who cares?
And it was going to be live streamed on August 26th. It's
You mean they're not
Facebook and X.
Mark Zuckerberg said no.
All right. Let's not think. Who cares? Let's move on.
Who cares?
I know.
All right.
Not gonna happen.
Who
Thank you,
cares?
Fred.
It's all right. Sports, and that's all. Okay. And the U.S. Open is beginning. When are they opening? Next week?
Could be.
Anyone know?
When,
Soon.
Who? When? When's the U.S. Open?
I think a week from Monday.
Week from
Yes.
Monday, and they gave a wild card to Venus Williams and Caroline Wozniacki.
Wozniacki, yeah.
The rolls off your tongue, Wozniacki.
Starts on the 28th, the US Open. 28th.
Main draw, yeah.
I got a question about the tennis. When Venus Williams won her first U.S. Open, what song did they play and who sang it?
Venus in Blue Jeans.
No, it was Venus by
Shocking Blue.
The Shocking Blue had the big hit. Venus. We were there that night when she won.
Great song, great song.
And who did she beat?
Who'd she beat?
Don't remember, but I remember it was a freezing night there.
Oh, really?
We had to buy sweatshirts.
It was her sister.
Let's go on to some trivia questions.
I have a question.
Got a trivia question?
Sure.
Just a question.
All right. Who were the first brothers to hit home runs in a World Series who were on opposing teams?
The Boyers.
Cleaton Ken Boyer.
Right, 1964. Right. And who was the third brother that didn't make it to the major league?
Floyd. Yeah.
And then was a coach with the Yankees, I believe, Cloyd.
Yeah, maybe a pitching coach one time. They had rotating pitching coaches every 2 weeks or something.
Right.
All right, who else has a question? Moving right along here. Okay, Fred.
Okay. In the history of the Los Angeles Angels, there have been 3 players. 2 of them are Ohtani and Trout, who have had multiple seasons of 40 or more home runs. Who is the third?
Salmon?
Who?
Salmon?
No.
Troy Glaus?
Troy Glaus is correct.
Troy Glaus.
Oh, good one.
Sure. Okay, good question. Who's up? Questions? Don't tell me we're stuck right here, huh? How about this one? 15 teams have won the World Series since the year 2000. Who's won the World Series since 2000? And I'll just check them off here.
Angels.
Wait. Angels, I have. Go ahead.
Yankees.
Giants.
Giants. I heard Giants. Wait.
Dodgers.
I can't go. Diamondbacks.
Astros.
Yankees.
Nationals.
Dodgers.
No, wait.
Phillies.
But 2000. I don't think Nationals won in 2000.
Since 2000?
Yeah,
2019.
2019.
Phillies.
Wait. Nats. Sorry, yeah,
Nats.
Phillies.
Phillies are up there. Yeah.
Cardinals.
Dodgers.
Cardinals are up there.
Dodgers.
Braves.
Red Sox.
Dodgers.
Braves.
Braves. Good.
Houston.
Red Sox.
Astros was said.
Red Sox mentioned.
Red Sox now.
Angels, Mark.
Angels mentioned. That was first one.
Cubs.
Very good.
Cubs.
You're missing 3.
Kansas
City. Royals. Where is that?
Right.
Who they beat, Mark?
Oh, shut up.
Sorry.
What, they're taking Harvey out? All right. 2 more. One we mentioned earlier, I think.
Braves.
We mentioned that.
Oh.
A National League team and an American League team.
White Sox.
Good. Remember the White Sox won the World Series?
2005.
And the last one was the Marlins. Stop stretching your brains. The Marlins won sometime.
All right, Mark, I'll ask a question now. Since you said 2000, what team since 2000s, in the 2000s, have played in the World Series but didn't win?
Mets.
Yankees.
Cleveland.
Mets.
Played but didn't win.
Kansas City.
No, they won.
No. I don't mean teams who played twice.
Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
How many are there?
Let's see. I'm not sure, but I mean, I know. I just thought it off the top of my head. I have to count how many there are.
They played in the World Series, but
they only played. If they
played and
could have
lost.
played, they could have played in 2 World Series or 1, whatever. They never won.
Tampa Bay.
Right.
Bay.
Good one, yeah, Tampa Bay.
I think think back to 2007.
Can't think of that long.
St. Louis.
No,
St. Louis won a World Series.
Oh, that's what.
a very
Colorado.
Colorado. I was gonna say a
And
team.
the Rockies
That
had
may
good
be
run.
it. I'm not sure. No. Now think back to 2016.
The
Cleveland, no?
Indians.
Guardians.
And 2012.
The Giants won, and who'd they beat?
They beat the Tigers.
Tigers, right.
Tigers.
Right.
Tigers. Wow.
Mark, I have another question.
Okay, go ahead, go.
All right. When you're on the Belt Parkway on the way to the Verrazano Bridge, what baseball player?
Carl Erskine.
Hey, by the way, there's a documentary on Erskine. I haven't watched it yet. But
He's still alive.
Yes.
I saw him pitch. He had 2 no-hitters.
As a matter of fact, I have a book at home where my son got signed, but about Duke Snyder, the Duke of Flatbush. My son went to a game. Erskine was there, and Erskine signed the book from the.
He can still
And
write.
let me tell you something. Coming from a Yankee fan, it was an excellent documentary.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oisk
and the Duke.
He's not only
Who's the oldest major leaguer now?
Rich Hill.
It's not Willie Mays, is it?
Hill, yeah.
Miguel Cabrera.
Miguel Cabrera.
I think
No,
Rich Hill.
I mean like
I think it.
any major league.
Living.
Like 99 years old.
Willie Mays is the oldest Hall of Famer, I think, Mark.
Well, Mays.
The oldest major leaguer.
Oh, maybe.
Still alive.
There's like a Dodger. Is it a Dodger? Or
Erskine.
Is he the oldest of all time?
He's 96 or 97.
Mark.
Yeah.
You know when they opened that road, the exit on the Belt Parkway, they forgot to invite him. They thought he was dead.
I'm looking at this book now. He signed the autograph on the introduction. He wrote the introduction of this book. Carl Erskine, number 17.
I didn't know that was his number.
My son must have gone to a promotion too because he got an autograph of George Shotgun
Schuber.
2005, and somebody else whose name I can't I have to ask him who it is.
Who were his 2 no-hitters pitched against?
Yeah,
I was there for one of them.
I don't remember.
Really good book.
Erskine.
I know you're a big Duke Snyder fan. I don't know if you ever read this.
No, I was there in 52 when he no-hitted the Cubs. But in 56, he had another one. Who did he pitch a no-hitter against in 56?
Pirates?
No.
That'd be one of the other 7 teams.
It was
Phillies.
It was the Giants.
That's it.
What do you got there, Gerald?
The hated New York Giants.
I have a list of the oldest living major league players.
Who is
the
it?
oldest is Art Shalleck, 99 years, 114 days, followed by Bill Greason, Larry Miggins, little Bobby Shantz.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Dossier, Ed Mickelson, Carl Erskine, 96 years, 247 days, Jim Willis, Charlie Maxwell, and Billy Gardner.
Yankee killer Maxwell.
Those guys getting up there. Wow, 90s. Billy Gardner. Charlie Maxwell. We could
Used
just
to
think
kill the
back,
Yankees.
right, every Sunday. Remember they played a doubleheader? Home run, home.
The hell out of them.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love them.
I have a couple more here. What quarterback's lifetime had given up the most? Who gave up the most pick sixes? All time. The number's 32. Which
32
quarterback gave up the most pick sixes?
Return for touchdowns, really?
Return for touchdown.
Brett Favre.
Oh,
Brett Favre, 32. Marino, 29. Stafford, 29. Joe Namath, 28. It's lifetime.
It was a different league in name and stay.
Anybody else have a question?
Yeah, I got one.
Go ahead.
Okay, this season, rookie pitcher for the Cleveland Indians, name is Gavin Williams, recorded back-to-back games of double-digit strikeouts. It was the 3rd Indian rookie pitcher to do so. Who were the other two?
Score.
Bob Feller.
Herb Score.
You got it right. Bob Feller and Herb Score.
I have a question here. I don't know how accurate it is. Who was the last surviving member of the 1936 World Champion Yankees? He's dead now, but he was the last survivor. Who died last? I guess that's what I'm answering.
Yeah.
Eddie Robinson? No.
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 Mark Koenig?
No. He went on to become the third base coach. Remember the long-time third base coach?
Crosetti? Frank Crosetti.
Frank Crosetti.
Crow.
Yeah.
Crow, yeah. All right. That's all I got. You guys had enough? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, boys, for joining us. What was it? 172. I have to keep looking at the numbers. Yeah. It's one of these numbers I can't remember. 172 times out. 170 times we complete. And I want to thank you guys for a fun show.
Thank you, Mark.
I hope you guys ever tune in to like Apple iTunes, Spotify, or just type into your browser. You could type Google on the Mark Sports Talk. The whole thing.
Absolutely.
The most current. My son won't put this one up until Sunday because he's away for the weekend. But Sunday, sometime we'll have that one up. It's good to hear your voice. Have a great evening, boys, and I'll see you out there next week.
Mark.
Take care.
Take care, everybody. Jeff,
bye, guys.
Take care,
Gary,
guys.
see you next week.
Yes, take care.